everybody, it's Amy at Crafty Cat, and I am back to work in the Witchy altered book. So I did do a few things because I'm trying to maybe expedite this journal a little bit. I think people have lost interest in the whole Halloween thing, so this will be the last one that I do this year. So anyways, I added these little like color swatches. That's just I finally got some of this villainous potion. I always want to call it villainous poison for some reason, and so I just did some little swatches of that on there, and now I have it on my finger too. So you guys saw me do that one. I've added the purple tissue paper, and I did this by taking all white tissue paper, some black watered down acrylic paint, and the villainous potion spray, and then just dipping the tissue paper in there. You can see this is another one that I've done. This one I haven't stamped yet, so then once I finished dyeing it, I just took different stamps and stamped on it, and here's another strip of it here. You can see, or just whatever you have. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be anything specific or anything like that. I mean, you don't even have to do it at all, but I like how it kind of just covers up the tabs a bit. So that's my preference. Then I added, this paper is from my Dark Fae kit, and so is the book and the flower. And then this is from my Haunted kit, and I just, added paper so that you could take it out and journal on it to give you a little journaling space, because there isn't, like you can write here. You could add something over this, I feel like, a picture or some journaling or whatever. And then on the back of this is, I forgot to say, these are the potion bottles from my Dark Fae kit. I just did a whole line of them on that tag that I also dipped in the villainous potion and splattered with black acrylic paint just for, a nice background. This is from the Witchy kit. That's from the Dark Fae kit. This is just a leftover Dragera type photo that I had from my Spooky Past. That is in my Spooky Past digital. I just thought she looked like she could possibly be a witch, so she's tucked in there. And that's all I did yesterday. That's all I had time for. I just added some fabric. It's just some sari down here, kind of gives that mushroom some grounding, and it also, there was a gap in there, so it kind of, covers up the gap a little bit. Not that it matters, but anyways. So that's where we're at. So I'm going to work on some more things to put in here today. And I thought I would go ahead and turn the camera on, because this weekend I just wasn't, I don't know, just not feeling great. I don't really know. I'm not sick. I just have not been feeling great. Oh, that's interesting. I even, what do you call it? Well, I guess I'll stop doing that. Used my heat tool and dried this, so it should be set, but I guess not. I got these in a pack at the Dollar Tree. They look like this. Poster letters is what they're called, and they come in black and gray. So I thought they would be kind of fun to play with, and you could do whatever with them later. Just add a letter if you wanted to. And so I'm going to use my W here. And I spritzed it with the villainous potion, and I've used the black soot inked around. I have a couple of my mushrooms from my Dark Fae kit, so those will go on there with one of the little witchies from my die cuts that are back in the shop. I've had people ask, and they are back. I just had to do some catching up. Sometimes it's because I'm obviously the only person cutting and doing all the things, so sometimes it just takes me a while. But I usually always put everything back in the shop, unless it's something I've discontinued or whatever. Like that. I think I want it up a little bit higher. So how are you guys doing? I hope that you're doing good. Sorry, I just jumped right in and didn't even ask how you guys were. Hopefully you're all doing well. It's a nice day. It's cloudy and it started to spit rain a little bit on me when I was walking, which of course feels fabulous, but kind of weird. But anyway. And our little die cut witchy is going to go down here. And then I'll put some mushrooms next to her. Somehow, some way. Where do I want? I like better like this away. Yeah, that's how we'll do it. I need to say hugs and blessings to Gina, Trish, Beth Ann, and Carrie. Thank you guys so much for always watching. Thank you for your very kind comments. I really appreciate all of you. You're just fantastic. And, oh, I think maybe she goes this way. Welcome to new subscribers, and welcome back to those of you that have watched me for a long time or a short time. Whatever the time may be, I appreciate you. Yeah, my stomach's just been off. I think I mentioned that the other day. It's because I'm a stress case and I can't help myself. Okay, so that's gonna go here. Scoot her up just a skosh because I'm gonna put another little something down at the bottom. That's the little witch I sketched that's also in the Witchy kit, the digital download. These are obviously die cuts. They're a physical item that I would have to send to you after you purchase them. They're not something you cut out or anything. But she is in the Witchy kit in the sketched form. I'm kind of annoyed that that villainous potion is smearing all over when I hit it with the heat gun. That's kind of annoying. That does not make me happy. Looks like I don't like that up there where it's smeared. And it got all over this. I mean, it's the back, it doesn't matter, but I just don't want it to keep smearing. Smearing. And then I'm trying to decide what I want to put down here. I'm going to tear the top off of this. Oh yeah, this just flashcard that I spritzed and sprayed and just used a little of my purpley black water that I've been using. I'm now saying purpley with the black because I don't know, maybe I want a piece of fabric or something like that. Oh, I have this little piece left over that matches some of those other ones. Yeah, I think I like that better. I'll probably stitch it too before I put it in the book. Just because I think that'll work better. I mean, you don't have to put anything at the bottom. It's not necessary. I just always can't leave it alone. Because that's the way that I am. So we had fun this weekend. We went and my son had to unfortunately work and wasn't really up in the mood. He's getting ready to go back to school and all that. But anyway, so we went with my daughter and we went paddle boarding. I love that. That is so fun. I highly recommend it if you, you know, like if you've been looking at it on the fence or whatever. I love it. So yeah, I would definitely recommend doing that if you like things like that. So yeah, I'll run a stitch across the bottom, so I'm not going to glue it on, but it'll go right here. And I already backed it with the coffee dye that I just splattered on. I think I am going to do a few splatters on here. I've discovered that this splattering helps with some of that glue that annoys me so much that gets on the die cuts. So if you put a few splatters, it makes splatter spots, and then it makes it look intentional. Because I always get glue on those. It's so frustrating. So anyway. See, stuff can always be like fixed and doctored and whatever. And who knew? All right, so I'm going to set this aside to dry, but I'll bring it over so you can see. It's very witchy. And then I'll just run black thread across there, you know, stitch. A stitch. Okay, then the other thing I'm going to do is I was gifted this awesome Tim Holtz paper, and it's purple on this side. Of course, I got water on it. And then it has the floral on this side. So very cool. I am going to round the corners, I think. Oh, maybe I'll use this thing. I found this the other day in my junk, in my mess of punches. Maybe I'll use it if my hands will let me. Yeah, that just gives it a little extra, and I cut it to the size so that it'll fit in the journal. Ink it. And I like that this side's purple. You can put photographs or add a journaling spot onto there. We're going to put a pocket on this side. It just goes so perfectly. I'll put a thumb notch. This was the piece that I cut off the bottom because it was like this the whole way. So I just cut off that piece so it'll fit in the journal. And then it was like, well, I'll just flip it over and turn it into the pocket. Folded the sides in a little to make a little bit of a gusset anyway. So voila. Doesn't get any easier than that. I think I will cut those a little bit because I'm afraid they'll stick out the top a skosh, and I don't want them to. Man, I was wiped out though after we, oh, I guess that was Saturday, not Sunday that we did that. But anyways, after we did that, I came home and my husband's like, let's watch a movie. It's like, okay, I was out. I mean, out cold. And I don't really do that. I don't generally fall asleep when we're watching movies and stuff. I mean, every once in a while, of course, I think everybody does, but it's not like something I do regularly. He was like, are you all right? I'm like, I don't know. I'm just wiped out between the sun and, you know, you try to stand on those boards, and I can stand pretty darn good. But I'm not putting glue here because I don't want to glue the flap, those little flaps. But you know, you're using all your muscle groups just to stand on those and paddle. So it's actually a really great exercise. Because you got to keep your core muscles tight and all of them. So it's good. And then you're using your arms to paddle. So we really enjoy that. That's super fun. All right. And then in the pocket, I'll probably put this. This is from my, I don't know, what's it called? Grungy Wildflowers and Butterflies, I think, or something like that. I can't remember all the names, but it comes with you know, a lot of you will know because this one's been out for a while. The wildflowers, and then this is in that kit. So we're gonna turn it into a little journaling card. Will work. I just printed it on printer paper, whatever, copy paper. So yeah, getting in a few fun things before the end of summer. Because before the trip, we were planning for the trip. You know how you do? And we didn't do a whole lot. And then we haven't really done much since we got back. We're just trying to get back in the swing. So that was fun. That trip was so great. I just can't get over how fast it went. It was just over so fast. It was just, it's so fun to travel with your adult kids. Like, I just can't get over it. It's just fantastic. Because, you know, we've obviously, as everybody does, done the whole kids, taking kids on trips, you know, when they're young and everything. And we always had fun, but it's really hard when they're little. Because the first time we went to Disneyland, for example, was kind of a nightmare, I'm going to be honest. So I don't recommend, even though it's the place for little kids, unless you live close, taking little kids to Disneyland. Ugh. I mean, honestly, all they did mostly is cry or need to be taken back to the hotel for a nap. And you're spending so much money just to get in that stinking place. The second time we went, we had a blast because they were old enough to just, okay, we're walking, we're doing, you know, and they kept up and all that, and it was awesome. But when they were little, it was not real fun. I'm not gonna lie. So this is one of the tags. This is the tag I was gonna use for something the other day. I don't remember what, but anyway, I cut it too small. So I'm using it now because we're gonna put one of the witchies on the top like so. And I always forget to do this, but I saw Carol Laws, she did her flip through of her witchy journal, which all the ladies are either done or about done or whatever. And I always link them in the description box below the video. So like I showed you guys the other day how to get there. Definitely go check out the other ladies that have made witchy journals if you haven't, because oh my goodness, they did such an amazing job. But anyway, Carol left a little thing on there. I'm like, that would be super helpful, huh? So I did it too. Copying you, Carol. She's my pal. She won't care. We're gonna do a journal together again coming up here, a collaboration. I don't know what yet. I need to talk to the other ladies too, and we can get all that figured out. But so I'm excited about that. That'll be fun. Because it's fun to have everybody play along. I'm gonna do this one, I think, because I think I'm out of the other paper. So what I do is I will glue her directly on here and then cut around it. So I'll probably pause, cut it out, stitch that other part, but we'll finish all this other stuff first. But let's just get her glued on at least, and it can start to dry a bit. I think I like that side out. And I like to do that because obviously, as you can see, she's printed on white paper. So I just like the whole thing. I even do it with the Tim Holtz portrait, I think he calls them, paper dolls that are like this, just a portion of the body. Just because I'd like it all to be the same on the back. Not that it's necessary, but I like it like that. I don't want to lose the tip of her hat there. There's my little scraper. And I got junk on there. So I'm going to set that. Well, we need to do something to this first, I think. Oh yeah, I was going to put these on there. So I want this. It's going to hang off a little bit, but I'll just cut it when I cut her out. And one of my potion bottles, I'm going to bring it down just a little bit. And then this one that says poison. She might be a little evil. Just a little. It does go much faster when I have my act together. I actually sort of had my act together this morning, so that was lovely. I love it when that happens. Ugh, I'm telling you, these days. I'm just doing part of it because some of it obviously is going away. And this is a Tim Holtz. Whatnot, what have you. So I'll just cut that when I cut it out. Yeah, she might not be the nicest of the witchies. Or she just has it to protect her witch friends. Just in case. And these words are in my Haunted digital kit, these ones. Okay. I kind of want to put something across there. Even though it doesn't really need it now that I did that other little bit. This is a piece I'm going to put, I think, around. So I'm going to use that, but I have another piece, luckily. Could use a piece of this. And find the end of it. There's an end and a string. This was from my friend Linda. Thank you, Linda. All my lovely friends that send me goodies. So kind. Not that anybody needs to do that, because let me tell you, I got a lot of junk. And yes, I'm sorry about the fan. It's just hot, even though it's cloudy. So you could do this type of look with those Tim Holtz portrait dolls too, if you're like, I don't like witches or whatever. And I'm gonna have to run a stitch across that too. It doesn't want to stick because the lace just sucks up the glue. Yeah, you can do it without. You could even do, like, if you're making a family journal, and I've talked about this before because a lot of people ask why I use other people's photographs instead of like my own, and it's because I make journals to sell. But if you're making them for yourself, definitely cut out family photos or whatever and do stuff like that. That would be so fun. So yeah, don't feel like you have to do it the way I'm doing it. That's just, you know, I'm making and selling journals. So this is all just ideas that I'm throwing around out here. You can run with them in whatever direction you like. So on our pocket here, we're going to put some calculator paper. Comes out of these little books, if you can find them. They're Ropes commercial calculators, and they have, you know, all the pages with the numbers like that. And I don't know, I've been gifted some. I did find one in a antique store one time. Sometimes you just run by them, and if you do, get it, because if you go back later, it's probably not going to be there. So I have one of my little cat cutouts that's in with the witches, these guys, and I put just a little piece of green on the back so that its eyes look green. So that is going to go here, and it says witchcraft, just as a little decorative piece for the pocket. And then I will get that one cut out. I will get the stitching done I want done. And I'll come back and show you when it's all done. I like these little cats. They're very cute. The whiskers are a little much. They are so tiny, but they cut out okay. So I was like, all right, well. And the other cat doesn't have whiskers because he's kind of got fluffy cheeks, like my cat. So it sort of looks like whiskers, but he's got the fluffy cheeks. My cat's doing okay. He's still got his stuffy nose, but he's tearing around like a little nutball, so I think he's fine. He just worries me sometimes. He's getting old, so he gets up and kind of hobbles when he walks. It's like, I feel you, brother. All right, I'm gonna go do those things and I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. Both pieces are dry and stitched wherever they're gonna be stitched. This I stitched around, and this one I just stitched the bottom, just where the fabric is, just to make sure it stays. So that's gonna go in there. I'm gonna glue this one next. I was gonna do this one, but I think I'll do this one first and then that one next, just so we have some full, short, you know, that kind of thing is what I'm thinking. Or would it be better? Sorry, I can't seem to make up my mind today. Yeah, maybe that is better because this is like full. These are short. All right, so we will do it the original way I had planned. So all I've been doing, oh, this W doesn't want to stick. I think I used I had added just a little bit of water to my glue stick because it was getting sticky and I didn't wait very long. So it was a little more water than glue apparently. Sorry, my throat wants to be difficult now. Okay, so we're just gonna put glue along the side. And glue it to our tab. These flashcards were like the perfect size for this. So crazy, because sometimes they're too big. Oh, well, let's try this again. Yeah, a little stinker. Trying to just keep it as straight as possible. Sometimes you gotta manhandle these with the whole, you know, they're thick in the center, and that's because of all the extra book pages in there. I'm just not sure how else you would get it to work, because you've got to keep those pages or it ruins the integrity of the whole spine, so it's a little tricky. But I really like these because then you can just make ephemera and put them in there, which is my favorite part of journal making. Because it's like the whole book is ephemera, so it's just fun. Okay, I'm going to tuck that in there a little further because we're going to put some of our tissue paper down the middle here. And I just put, what do you call it? glue stick on it, and it seems to work just fine. I don't want it to hang over quite as far as it was. The other cool thing about using the tissue paper is it will cover that, which you don't have to do, but also you can kind of squish it in and move it around. It doesn't have to be like regular paper and just be a long strip that's kind of stagnant or whatever you would say. Rigid, maybe, is a better word. Okay. I like to just kind of lay it there and then take my little tool and tuck it into that spine a little bit before I press it down everywhere else, so that it's not sticking up weird or doing anything odd. But I'll push it a little bit if I want it over further. And then another thing I do is I cut it wherever it meets, you know, like a split here, this split. I could probably even tear a bit out of this one. Oh, except I want it right there, huh? So just this little piece, maybe. It's the other great thing about tissue paper. It's super easy to manipulate and move. And then whatever's left, I just kind of crunch it up. If you want, of course, cut it off. But I kind of like the way it looks when it's just hanging out a little bit. And that just adds like a nice finished edge, I feel like, more than what it is with just the gray. But that's my take on it. All right, so the next piece is this one. Oops, you need to stay standing up, lady. I might take those out for just a minute until we get this in here. And then, like I said, you could add a photo on the back of this. You could add a journaling spot. Whatever the case may be. Whatever you like. We'll have to do this one the same way we did the last one. I always gotta do that. These things save the day, I'm telling you. That's one of those, is this gonna stick out? Ooh, it is. I'm gonna have to pull it in further. Like glue erasers. I don't remember what they call them technically, but they work really well. So I'll try this again. It happens. I cut it the same size as the front page, but you know, the further you get in and it pushes the pieces out, it's just tricky. It's just tricky. You just gotta play with it to figure out exactly where it's gonna be. Oh my goodness. Difficult. Stop being difficult. Sorry, I keep bumping my head on the camera for some reason. It's because I'm trying to see what I'm doing. Okay, so that one is done. Just want to make sure it sticks right. This is another reason I like to add the piece of tissue paper, because that just, you know, seems to help all the things stick where they're supposed to stick. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing with this one. There. So we'll go like that. And I just tear off whatever I don't want or need or whatever. It can get used somewhere else. Oh no. Well, that was a phooey. Phooey Louie. And yeah, I know it does take up some of the space, but it would be real hard to write all the way down into that space anyway, so I'm not that worried about it. And as I've often said, a lot of these journals are really more art pieces than necessarily super useful. I mean, yeah, they can definitely be written in, and do write in one if you have one or get one or whatever, because that's the whole point. But I'm just saying, it's also an art piece. Sometimes it's just cool to look at it. And I'm okay. This is some of the gray from the book page, but you can kind of see there's some text there, so I'm okay with that staying. I just like a little something on there. And that's purely a me thing, so again, if you make one of these, don't feel like you have to do that. See, and you can even, if you want to, cut right here, because you don't want your pocket closed off that much, because it's just tissue paper, so it's easy. And that way this can come over further if you want it to. All right, so that is where we're at. We have a little witchy there, the mushrooms, I like it, and then this one here. And then when you go to this page, put a photo, writing space, whatever. So I've got two more right here before this sort of the middle, sort of, and then there's more back there, but coming along pretty good, and I'll just keep plucking away at it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day, and we will chat again soon. Love ya. Bye.